然后你看它指甲好小一点。
The last 10 years. It doesn't just represent the 50,000 people who died in Britain from traffic pollution diseases in the last 10 years. It doesn't just represent the 400,000 people who died of physical inactivity diseases because they're afraid of cycling and walking on British streets. It indeed, it just represents 476,000 dead in 10 years.
This for Ed, born for his chopper, swapped a life of adventure to work in the city, yet cycling by fold up from Ealing.
This is the culture that for too long has held the purse strings, has fogged the judgment and swayed local and national transport policy. It is a culture that is killing us all.
We're not dead. You can hear us, you can see us, you can remember us. Stop the killing. Enough said. Thank you.
You can't just berate people and tell them they have to go to a gym. We have to make the life in the city sustainable. We have to have an environment which supports people in taking exercise. Yet my colleagues at work tell me, I can't cycle to work, I'll get killed. We have to have that infrastructure. We need that infrastructure for our health. There's a study that's shown that if we had Dutch-style cycling infrastructure in London, that's all, it would save 7,500 years of quality life per year in London.
Thank you, Brendan, for bringing the message from the medical profession to actually know that they're on our side. I'm really, really proud to introduce the next speaker, Bart Chan, a member of the younger generation and another hero of mine. Somebody who was in a terrible accident with an HGV truck just a few months ago and is back on his bicycle and is here to share from his heart what he feels. Thank you. Bart Chan.
Thank you everyone for coming today. When you come face to face with death and come out the other side alive, it's only natural to question what is the meaning of this life. The more I think about it, the more I realise we're not on this planet to make money for the sake of accumulating possessions and chasing transient pleasures, but instead to be kind, compassionate and caring to others, helping where we can and respecting the delicate balance of nature.
Thank you, Mark. With young leaders like this, we've got hope for the future. I think I'm probably the first person ever to introduce an actuary at a protest march. And I'm really proud that we've got Andrew Smith here to talk about numbers, if numbers are important. Thank you, Andrew.
Thank you, Donica. I'm going to talk to you about 3 categories of deaths. The first category is familiar to anybody who uses the roads. My office overlooks Ludgate Circus, and tragically this year, on 2 occasions, I've come on my bicycle to work and seen the ambulances there and to learn that somebody has died. A cyclist on 2 occasions has been crushed by a careless truck driver at Ludgate Circus. People tell me that I'm crazy to cycle to work, that I'm risking my life every day on the roads. But let me tell you something. There's a greater risk than that, and that greater risk is inactivity. The real risks are the cancers, the heart disease, the diabetes triggered by obesity and lack of exercise. We know that these diseases kill more than pollution and collisions combined.
Ted is a very active cycling campaigner in Brixton, and we're really proud for him to come here today and read this poem. So please give him welcome. Thank you.
Yet everyone is loath to trust the rain's soft soaping ways and sentiments of growth, because all confidence in summer's unstinting largesse broke down last May when we laid you out in white, your whited face gashed from the accident, but still, so absolutely still. And the sun set merciless on every merciful register inside us yearned to run the film back, for you to step into the road, wheeling your bright-rimmed bike, safe and sound as usual, across, then down the lane, the twisted spokes all straightened out, the awful skid marks gone.
We wanted to be here in London today to share this event with all of you in memory of our daughter, Marie Vesco. Let me tell you a sad story. Marie was killed 6.5 years ago while cycling along the A23 between London and Brighton. She was cycling along this busy road with a dozen of friends because the cycle path they were following suddenly disappeared and they had no other choice. At a junction of this road, her bicycle was knocked by a car. She fell on the road. The second car coming behind, close behind, ran over her. Marie was dead, but the both drivers, had never been prosecuted. My life changed on the 4th of June 2008 at 11 p.m. when the phone rang. My husband answered and I knew immediately that something terrible had happened. Well, no cries, no shouts, I was just destroyed. I couldn't realize that my 19-year-old girl, full of life, was dead. She lived in London. She was a student at the London Uni. She had a job here and lots of friends. And now, well, she's dead. It took me months to realize that she would never come back home to celebrate her 20th birthday with us. It took me years to accept her absence. Now I am resigned. She has gone. I tried to live with the before and the after. But I say, nobody deserves such a pain. And all our children have the right to live. Please stop killing them.
It's hard to follow that. Our next speaker is an extraordinary man. Hold on a moment. Terry Hurlstone, 42 years ago, was arrested in Oxford Street because he sat down to protest against the traffic danger and the pollution on Oxford Street. And I'll let you hear it himself. Thank you.
Thank you, Donna. 42 years ago, about 150 of us, young liberals, friends of the earth, environmental campaigners, we decided to make an exhibition of what was going on in Oxford Street. We marched along Oxford Street. We had a very large, heavy chain, and we found two lampposts opposite each other, and we locked the chain to the lampposts, and we stopped traffic in Oxford Street. It took the police half an hour with an acetylene blowtorch to remove and open up Oxford Street again. About 50 of us were arrested, and I was deemed to be one of the organisers. There were 4 of us that were fined rather heavily than the others.
We're not just here to clap, we're not just here from the victims and the grassroots activists. What we're doing, we're here today is to start a process of change. 40 years ago in a similar place in Amsterdam, they did a die in front of Amsterdam Town Hall. They had a traffic island like this with waves of traffic surrounding Amsterdam Town Hall. And 40 years later, Amsterdam Town Hall now has pedestrianising and has a cycle lane in front of it. That stream of traffic is gone. It is possible to do it. London can do it. And we now want to focus on why are we here? We're not here just to mark the dead, which is hugely important. We're actually here to actually point out the failure by our political system and by all our major political parties. The Labour government spent £1 a year on cycling infrastructure. Remember, the Dutch are spending £28 a year, and they've been doing it for 40 years. So don't let Labour say that they did right by us. The Lib Dem Tory coalition doubled what was spent by Labour, so they spent £2 per person per year on cycling infrastructure. Big deal, we got 2 crumbs instead of 1. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, but 2 crumbs is not enough. We not only need what the Dutch spent, but we need to double what the Dutch spend to catch up. We need to spend a minimum of $3 billion a year on cycling infrastructure in Britain. And finally, the fourth major party. If anybody cares to look, please I ask you to look tonight at the policies so-called of the UKIP and Independence Party on cycling and traffic and cars. It is horrendous what they're proposing. It should be called the United Kingdom Killing Party. They're a disgrace. So let us end with 3 cheers for active travel, for cycling and for pedestrians. 3 cheers. Hip hip! Hip hip! Hip hip! And now lift your backs to London. Thank you everybody! Yay! Woo! I'm an Irishman, and like all good Irishmen, we always finish a funeral with a wake. So if anybody wants to join us for a bevy, we're going to the Tiger across the road. Let's see you there for a drink. Thank you everybody.